And welcome back to our NCAA football win total series. We continue on in Conference USA, and we are on to Sam Houston. Just Sam Houston, UTEP, and Western Kentucky left for us. And for Sam Houston, what we're talking about is the story of Casey Keeler, the head coach. So Casey Keeler was the Delaware head coach, led them to a Division II championship in 2003. Then in 2007, led them to the one FCS title game. Did it again in 2010. He left after 2012. 2014 shows up at Sam Houston. He makes the semifinals in 2014, 15, and 17. Quarterfinals in 2016. A little bit of a step back in 18 and 19, but then that 2020-21 COVID season, he wins the national title. They go to the quarterfinals in 2021, and then they make the announcement that they are going to be moving up to Conference USA. NCAA comes in and says, yeah, you're not eligible for anything. Tons of players leave. They have a rough 2022 as they're starting a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. And then last year it starts out rough. Lose at BYU, lose to Air Force, lose at Houston, lose against Jacksonville State, at Liberty, at New Mexico State, FIU, and UTEP. They start the season 0-8. They beat Kennesaw State on November 4th. November 11th, they beat Louisiana Tech on the road. They lose to Western Kentucky just by 5. And then they beat Middle Tennessee in an upset at home. By the way, those last two losses of their losing streak, FIU was double overtime. UTEP was a 3-point game. Their last 3 losses, double overtime, 3 points, and 5 points, and they have 3 wins in here. Definitely a better second half for Sam Houston, even though they finished just 3-9. And the nice thing with Sam Houston is a lot of those young guys now are experienced. They just got to keep improving. We actually start with quarterback, though, and that's where they do have a new guy coming in. They bring in Jace Bauer from Central Michigan. He's got pretty good downfield accuracy. They were one of the worst passing teams in the nation last year. That is definitely going to improve this year. They have a good offensive line. The running game wasn't always great, but the passing pass blocking was solid. They have John Gentry there. He's a pretty good veteran. They do have a bunch of veteran offensive linemen. Passing to the, getting passes from Jace Bowers will be Noah Smith. He's a great receiver. Malik Phillips has been around forever. And then they have a tight end that's pretty good in Texas A&M transfer, Fernando Garza. And then at running back, they've got about 4 different guys that took carries last year. They should be pretty solid there as well. The defense doesn't bring as many people back, but they should still be pretty solid. Isaiah Nixon is going to need to be the main pass rusher. He only had 5 sacks last year. They really need to increase that. They also have Javon Leon, who is dealt with injuries the last few years. If he can go back to form, he'll be solid. Sincere Jackson is a fantastic in the middle. Kyvan Gather is also a pretty big playmaker. At corner, they have David Fisher and they have Caleb Weaver. Both of them are great tacklers. They keep the play in front of them. I like the defense if they can figure out how to get a pass rush this year. When we look at the Sam Houston schedule, it's pretty manageable. They do start a little rough. They're on the road at Rice and then on August 31st and then at UCF on September 7th. Probably both losses, but then they get Hawaii at home. That should be a win. And New Mexico State at home, which should also be a win. Texas State, September 28th, probably a loss. October 3rd, UTEP, that's a toss-up. It's on the road. Maybe they get it, maybe they don't. They have a bye on the 12th. They'll lose October 16th to Western Kentucky. And then they're at FIU on the 22nd, and they could easily win that game as well. Then they get Louisiana Tech at home. That's a winnable game. Another bye. Then they're at Kennesaw State, a winnable game. Jacksonville State on the road on the 23rd, probably a loss. But they could be fighting for a bowl game in that, knowing that November 30th they have Liberty, and they're probably not winning that. But most likely they end the season with 2 losses. And when we go through the schedule, I see definitely 3 wins for sure. I think they're going to get Louisiana Tech at home. I think they get New Mexico State at home. I think they get Hawaii at home. I see also a 4th win in Kennesaw State on the road. So really, when we look at the win total being set at 4.5 everywhere, we're asking them to get one win between FIU, UTEP, maybe Jacksonville State. It's not, or at Rice. There's not a huge jump to get from 4.5 to 5. And that's where we're going to go. I think this is a 5-7, maybe a 6-6 team, and could potentially, talk about bowl eligibility. But everyone's got the over favored. The best line out there is on Bet Rivers. We're going to take the over 4.5 at -124. If you like this content, please put a like on this, share it with your friends, add a comment, and we'll see you next time.